Hello there, beautiful. So you're considering a move to Brussels? Well, let me assure you, you've come to the right place. I've been living in the Belgian capital for 5 years, and I have learned a thing or two in my tenure here about finding a solid place to live. And after 3 years in this beautiful apartment, my husband and I are looking to move. For the last couple of weeks, I have been knee-deep in Brussels apartments, seeing everything from the good, the bad, and the ugly. Which is why I wanted to make this video for all of those choosing to move to Brussels in the hopes of easing their transition, so that you too can find your home away from home. I hope to cover the topic of apartment hunting extensively, though if I leave anything out or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop them down below. Let's do this. Before we begin, I just want to outline what you can expect from today's video. The first is where to look, because Brussels has many different neighborhoods. Second is the nitty-gritty, logistics specifics, everything that you need to know before you sign your lease. Third is what criteria to look for in your future apartment. And lastly, I'm going to interview 2 people who live here in Brussels. One is a Brussels native, and the other is a recent recruit. Part 1. Where to look. Brussels has 19 different communes, also called municipalities, and each one has its own style, transportation, and nightlife scene. Where you choose to live will depend largely on how close you want to be to work and how well the commune style matches yours. I've linked an article down below highlighting the 10 best communes to live here in Brussels that covers everything from languages spoken, how to navigate the municipal house, law enforcement, trash collection, and much more. So if you're one of the thousands of people coming to Brussels every year to work in or around the EU institutions, then I suggest you narrow your search to the communes located close to that area, which include Etterbeek, Ixelles, Schaerbeek, Brussels 1000, and Woluwe-Saint-Lambert. But within those 5 communes, you have a great variety of apartment style and residential feel. And each of those also has a large park, which is always a plus in a big city. Which commune you decide on will depend largely on what your budget and or space requirements are. Though I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Before we find your perfect pad, let's talk logistics, the specifics around moving. Part 2. The logistics. Let's talk language. If you already have a working level of French and or Dutch, then you're golden. You're probably not going to have a very hard time with the paperwork needed to settle on an apartment. If, however, you're watching this video in English, plan to come here with English and then maybe start taking lessons in French or Dutch once you're here, then I suggest you narrow your search of communes to Brussels 1000, Etterbeek, and Ixelles. These 3 communes have a slightly better infrastructure around dealing with English-speaking migrants. Next up, contract duration. It's common practice here to sign a lease for 3 years, with an option to extend for another 3 and up to 9 years. Colloquially, it's called the 369 contract. Now, if you choose to or need to leave your contract for whatever reason before the first 3 years is reached, unfortunately, you're going to have to pay a penalty. I have also seen apartments here rented on a 1-year basis, though these aren't, I would say, as common as the 369. The type of contract you choose will depend on your budget, preference, and work status. Which brings me to my next point. If you're moving here as a single young professional, there are plenty of good housing options to choose from. Loads of people come here on a short-term contract or for an internship and maybe looking to live with someone. I've linked a few good resources down below to help you find a flatmate, and there are also many beautiful cohabitation spaces in which you can rent just a room. This is both an affordable option and a great way to meet people when you're new to the city. Once you know how long you're going to be here and what living arrangement you're looking for, living alone or with roommates, you'll need to gather a few documents to make a case to your prospective landlord. In my experience, the list has included pay slips, generally the last 2 to 3 months as proof of income, which also proves your ability to work and live here legally, a copy of your ID card, front and back, and then you also need to prepare the first 2 to 3 months of rent as deposit. If you find a place you like, more often than not, it's going to be listed as available immediately. And apartments here go fast. So from my experience, it would be smart to have all of your ducks in a row, all of your papers ready to be able to move in ASAP. I've linked a really helpful article on renting in Brussels in the description box below. It's going to be chock full of goodies down there, so don't forget to check it out. Part 3, a place to call home. Now that you've chosen your commune, prepared your documents, and decided if you want to live alone or with a friend, now comes the fun part, finding your dream place. I recommend you start by making a list of the criteria you'd like to have in your ideal pad. But here are a few things to consider. The first is transportation, proximity to tram, metro, and bus. How important is it to you to have a walkable commute to work? The good news is that an unlimited transportation pass here will only set you back about $50. Next is to look at the year of construction, because here in the Belgian capital, we have a great mix of old world charm and modern efficiency. Not always in equal quantities. The thick humidity here has a way of weaving itself deep into building walls, and if the property hasn't been properly insulated, this could lead to mold issues, which could then be reflected in your energy bill and maybe health bill. Again, unfortunately, speaking from experience on this one. So if you do get wooed by an older apartment, don't despair. Just make sure that you ask your landlord what the humidity situation is before you move in. It may also behoove you to invest in a dehumidifier. And lastly, to beware of the apartments that are set below ground, because Brussels is at a very low elevation, and those places are just a hotbed for gathering humidity. But it's great. It's a great city. You're going to have a great time. Just, I'm giving you things to look out for. All right? Because I care about you, and I want you to enjoy living here. Another criteria you might want to consider is your kitchen setup. If you enjoy cooking from home, I see you, because I also enjoy cooking from home. And 2, Brussels does not see you. Many, if not the majority of apartments here, do not prioritize the kitchen. A lot of the spaces here have galley kitchens, which is kind of a closet-like room with not a lot of storage and not much space for more than one person to cook there at a time. It's kind of sad. So if you are a home cook, I suggest that you click the option kitchen setup, that it does matter to you in the apartments that you're looking for, because it will narrow your search to include those with a somewhat more reasonable culinary atmosphere. Again, in the description box, you'll find a link to ImoWeb, which is one of the main real estate search platforms here. Best of luck! Before we wrap things up, I want to include a slightly different perspective, one that's not just my own. So I'm going to interview 2 fabulous people that also live here in Brussels that I'm lucky enough to work with at Animo. One is a Brussels native and the other one is a recent Brussels recruit. And we're going to see exactly what they think about living here in the Belgian capital. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Should we do ladies first?
Yeah, ladies first.
Okay, ladies first. So, welcome.
Yes, hello.
Welcome, Erica, to the channel.
My name's Erica. I'm from the U.S., more specifically Virginia State. What brought me to Brussels? Work.
And
Yeah.
where do you work?
Animo Studios.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug. Link down below, y'all.
Link down below.
So what's one thing that you wish you had known before moving here?
I wish someone would have told me how long it takes to get like your residency card and all of the bureaucracy stuff to fully settle.
Yep. As an American.
As an expat, like non-European, because I thought it would take me less than a month. It took me about 5 months to get it.
5 months.
Yes. Yeah, it took a while because then without the card, like your residence card, I couldn't get a Belgian bank account. I couldn't get health insurance yet, like all the important stuff.
Yeah.
But now I have it. Now it's a lot easier. But I do wish someone would have told me it was going to take a while.
Yeah, to budget time-wise.
Exactly.
Okay, what's one or a few things that have pleasantly surprised you since living in Brussels?
Surprisingly how walkable the city is. I feel like most European cities are walkable, but I find that Brussels is actually quite walkable, even though I do like renting electric scooters. But I don't know. What do I like? I really do like where I live. It's very central. I'm close to a park.
And which commune are you in?
Excel. But I would say I'm like the border of Ukla because I'm by Bascule.
Fancy.
Yeah. But still Excel. And so like super close to work and everything. And also I realized I really like the restaurants here. I really do like going out to eat here, which is a problem for my bank account. But I haven't found like a bad restaurant to go to. So yeah. Brussels chose me.
That's so cute. It is true.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't choose the city.
But we stay.
But we stay and I like it, so.
Yeah. Bravo. Thank you, Erica.
Your turn.
And now Feli.
Thank you.
Feli, our Brussels
Hello.
aficionado.
Yes.
Our native. So first, Feli.
Yeah.
A little intro to you.
So my name is Feli. I was born and raised in Brussels, and that's pretty much it.
Nice, nice. And what do you do here?
So I'm working with Animo also. It's a whole team here, and I do sport on the side.
What is one thing or a few things that you're proud of Brussels for being from here?
I think the main thing here is the fact that you can see a lot of people, and there's a really vibrant social life.
If you're social.
If you're social, yeah.
Smart.
If you like to see people and if you're social, it's pretty nice.
Lovely. What's one or a few things that you're maybe not the most proud of from this city? I don't want you to crap on your
I'm not
city.
gonna go on a rant.
No.
The weather,
Yeah, that's kind of low hanging
but
fruit.
we can't do anything about it. So it's not really about the city, but
Yeah.
I say the city is kind of small. I mean, the city is kind of big, but it's small at the same time. It's like because I was born here and I know the city kind of
Yeah,
pretty good.
it's different if you're from there.
So I feel like I see the same thing all the time. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, there's a lot of new things coming up also in Brussels, and a lot of little things that are nice and new also.
Yeah,
That's
like new
coming
people.
up. Like new people like you
A
guys.
lot of entrepreneurship here.
Right. True
Amen.
that.
And which commune do you live?
So right now I live in Ixelles, but I grew up in Schaerbeek.
Nice.
Yeah.
I talked about Skybeck yesterday.
Yeah, Schaerbeek is really nice.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different than Ixelles,
Yeah.
but I like Ixelles. Ixelles is really nice.
Yeah.
There's more. There's a lot of young people, and Schaerbeek is more. Depending on where you are, it can be quieter. So that's pretty much it.
Lovely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. As I said, I'm going to link all of the information I talked about in the description box below if you want to check that out. If you're in Brussels, come stop by Animo. We have Philly, we have Erica, we have great coaches. It's going to be a good time. Thank you all again. I'll see you back here very soon in my next video. Bisous!
Peace out.
One is a Brussels native, born and raised here. That's what it means. And not much space for more than one person, which include Etterbeek, Ixelles, Schaerbeek, Brussels 1000, and Woluwe-Saint. Etterbeek, Ixelles, Brussels 1000, Schaerbeek, and Woluwe-Saint-Pierre.